Hiya VC, back again. Can't keep me down. I was looking back just at my first video, and I realised that I uploaded my first VC video a year ago today. Ha! So happy 1 year anniversary to me for being on the VC. And what better way of celebrating it than to do a vinyl Wodge video? Yes, I know you're chomping at the bit to see what absolute dreck and rubbish I've managed to turn up in my crate digging and charity shop routing time. Well, I think I've got some decent records this time, to be honest. Well, actually, what do you mean this time? I get decent records all the time. I defend every record I ever buy. There we go. Right, so we've got a mix of singles and albums and 12-inch singles. So I'll quickly whiz through. I've got three 7-inches here. Just whiz through these. I got this. I'm really pleased I picked this up. This is Cheap Trick. I'll Be With You Tonight. It's a 3-track single, limited edition bag, on Epic. I think this is UK only. I think the tracks on here are I'll Be With You Tonight, He's a Whore, which apparently was previously unavailable in Britain when this was released, and So Good to See You from the In Colour LP. This is great stuff, absolutely great stuff, and I'm so pleased I picked this up. And it's in remarkably good shape for a 7-inch. Most of the time, when you find 7-inch singles, the sleeves are all wrecked and the records are completely scratched. The amount of 7-inches I've tried to find, had a look at, and they've just been, well, they're not, the only use is frisbees, really. I don't know what they do with them. Maybe they've been used as frisbees. Maybe that's why they're so bad. Great little 7-inch there. That back down there. This one didn't have the picture cover, unfortunately, but I had to pick it up, seeing as it was 50p. This is the Eton Rifles. This was the Jam's first top 10 hit number 3 in the UK. So this is just a classic single. And I'm not, if I see a Jam single 50p, I'm going to pick it up. B-side is Seesaw. It would have been nice if it had been picture sleeve, but, well, never know, I might come across another copy, who knows. And then this one covers a bit more beaten up, but I had to pick this up. Right, this is a band called Landscape. Now, in the UK, Landscape are best known for releasing a single called I Stein a Go-Go, which was a top 10 hit in 1980. Now, this is their follow-up, and this was called Norman Bates. A ridiculous song, really. My name is Norman Bates, and I'm a normal man. My name is Norman Bates, and that is basically the whole song. It's just really repetitive for about 3/4 of the song, and then you get the backing sort of takes a back. They stop singing, backing takes a back seat, and you get a newsreader, a fake newsreader, fake news, reading out a sort of potted history of Norman Bates and his psychological well-being. Great single, absolutely love it. The B-side is From the Tea Rooms of Mars to the Hellholes of Uranus, Part 3 Tango. There you go, not very good. But the B-side, the A-side is worth it. It's just a great, silly song. Right, 12 inches. Now, they're down here somewhere. Here we go, there we go. Not that one. That's an album. Here we go, here's the 12 inches. Right, nice little stack of 12 inches. I do like a good 12-inch. As you know from my 12x12 videos, which I shall hopefully do another one soon. Be volume 4 of that. Right, first up, 1990s vinyl. I love 1990s vinyl. I love vinyl from any decade, but 1990s because there wasn't so much about it. Right, this is EMF, who were kind of indie dance band from 1990. Their massive hit was Unbelievable. I think that was a US #1, I think. Was it? I think it might have been. Well, it was a big hit over there anyway. Big hit over here as well. Loved that song. This is the first release from their second album. This is the Unbelievable. No, what am I talking about? The Unexplained EP is down there. There it is. and you've got the track Getting Through, which is great. Their second album was a lot harder. There's a much more kind of industrial sound to it, and some of the remixes from it, I got all the singles from it, and some of the remixes really, really good. So if you can pick up any of their remix single CDs, I would do, because they're well worth picking up. Some really good remixes on there. And then you've got Far From Me, the same, and they actually do a surprisingly decent cover of Search and Destroy by the Stooges. So that was a nice start. Anyway, so there's that one. That was a good start. I've also managed to pick up Skid Row, 18 and Life. Great stuff from Skid Row's debut album. I actually saw them live, I think twice, in 1989. Was it 1990? I went and saw Motley Crue at the Wembley Arena. Might have been 1990. Can't remember. 89. I think it was 89. Anyway. And then I went and saw Skid Row. They came back and played Hammersmith Odeon a couple of weeks later. Great show. I loved it. But here you've got Midnight Tornado and a live version of Youth Gone Wild on the B-side. Great 12-inch. And it looks like it's unplayed. It really does. Limited edition, number 6843. What a real slight limited edition. Obviously a limited edition of 10,000. Another limited edition. The Shaman. SOS EP. I love The Shaman. I absolutely love them. Absolutely loved The Shaman. From way back before when they was kind of more of an indie dance band to when they became an out-and-out dance band. So this is the SOS EP. SOS stands for Show of Strength, according to the back cover, or Shaman Old Songs, or Save Our Statesman. I don't know, some kind of probably Illuminati rubbish. Anyway, so here we've got Make It Mine, Beatmaster's 12-inch dub coming on. Another Beatmaster's 12-inch dub. Moby's dub mix of Make It Mine, and then a Deep Sigh mix of Possible Worlds. And I haven't actually played this yet, so I don't know what the mixes are like. But nice bonus is that it came on clear vinyl. Well, I'm not sure about clear vinyl. I'm not sure. It looks in fairly good nick. Because it does look like the rotating table from a microwave. I don't know. Anyway, always pick up Shaman records. Right, that one goes that way. Indie band called Bleach. Up next. I've got another 12-inch by Bleach, and I like that. This is on Way Cool Records. It's kind of pretty heavy indie, but there's also kind of a shoegazy type vibe going on with some of the tracks. Quite a nice little label. There we go. This is called the Snag EP. So I presume this is kind of like a continuation of the previous EP, which I can't remember the name of now, because you've got side 3 and side 4. So you've got Bethesda and Seeing, and then Dipping and Burn. And yeah, and this was released in 1991, more 90s vinyl. Right, Phil Lynott up next, Solo in Soho, Dear Miss Lonely Hearts. Haven't played this either. The 12 inches I haven't, most of the 12 inches I haven't had a chance to play. All the albums I'm going to show that I have. I had to pick up Phil Lynott. I couldn't let this stay there. Actually, it looks in pretty good nick. So there we go. I have played this one. I love this song. This is Robbie Robertson, and this was, I think, his only solo British top 20 hit. Somewhere Down the Crazy River. I really like this song. Really like it. I do have his album on tape somewhere, I think. I think it's over there on tape, because I do remember playing it, so I must have it, because I never get rid of anything unless I break it, which I've seen happen once. So got some good tracks on here. You've got Broken Arrow, which is an album track, which is a good song, and then you've got Tailgate, which I think is it's a non-album cut, but it's a good trio of songs on there. Really like this 12-inch. Really enjoyed listening to it. And then when I picked this up, I was reading a book called Lost in Music by Giles Smith, and it's a really funny memoir of one guy's attempts to make it in the music industry. And I guess the closest he ever really comes to making it in the new music industry doesn't really get that far. I mean, they released proper records and everything. Back there he was in a band called Cleaners from Venus, and you can still get their records. They are still on eBay and stuff, but they're a bit pricey. But he once met this guy. I just had to pick this up. This is Nik Kershaw. Wouldn't It Be Good? UK Top 10 hit in 1984, I think it was. I had to pick it up and I picked it up just as I was coming towards the end of Lost in Music, and there's a really funny chapter all about Giles Smith and Nik Kershaw in that book. I would encourage you to go and read it. It's great. Wouldn't it be good? Right, on to the albums. Ooh, 12 minutes already. Am I going to get... my videos have been getting longer and longer. I'm really sorry about this for all you people who put up with them. Try and make them quick, but I just seem to have more records than every Wodge. It's just ridiculous. Right, shall we go that way? I guess this is the highlight of... I didn't have a copy of this before. All these albums, by the way, cost £1 each. All of them. Absolutely made up when I got some of this. I mean, this one, I was so made up again. Really good condition copy. The cover's not great. Record superb. Avalon, what a great record. I mean, I've listened to this before anyway, but I didn't actually have a copy of it, so I'm really chuffed I picked this up. Just some fantastic songs. More Than This, Avalon, While My Heart Is Still Beating, The Main Thing, Turn You On. Just great stuff, and what a lovely cover as well. Comes complete with the inner sleeve with the lyrics. Fantastic stuff. I am so chuffed. Slowly getting there with my Roxy collection. Slowly. Right. I'll listen to this one. It's okay. Right, this is Sam Brown. April Moon. I think this is her second album, and it's all right. It's kind of it kind of doesn't know where it is, to be honest. It sort of jumps about a bit all over the place. You've got different genres. You've got a bit of funk, a bit of soul, a bit of blues. It's not really a very cohesive record, and it's a pretty middling album, to be honest. I do have her first one on CD, and that's a much better thing. It had her song Stop, which I think is a great single. Really, really brilliant single. I think this was released in 1990, which is the year after. So there we go, Sam Brown, April Moon. I was dead chuffed I picked this next one up, because this was mentioned in Giles Smith's Lost in Music as well. It's Aretha. It's Who's Zooming Who. In the book, Giles Smith goes on about how he always seemed to end up with the dud records, how he didn't have Prime Era, sort of Atlantic, or she was on Atlantic when it's Stax or whatever she was on, Prime Era of the Aretha. He had this. Well, this is actually a pretty good record. It's not mind-blowing, but then it's Aretha. Of course there's going to be some class to it. It's got Freeway of Love. I actually like that, Freeway of Love. Who's Zooming Who? I remember that. It's got the duet she did with the Eurythmics, so now I have that on 2 different albums because I've got Be Yourself Tonight by the Eurythmics. You've got Carlos Santana playing guitar on a track. Yeah, it's a surprisingly good listen. There's a nice inner sleeve. I don't think, was it just a... Yeah, just a box that came out on Arista. Just a box standard Arista label there. But I can't... I wouldn't have paid more than £1 for it, but I'm so glad I did get it for £1. There we go. Another record I was really surprised by, because I thought I would think this was a load of old tripe, but this was surprisingly good. It's still got a few dud tracks on it. The ballads I can't stand, but it's Foreigner 4. Some of this is really hard rocking. Like, I had them down as complete soft rock no hopers. We recorded I Just Want to Know What Love Is. I think that's what it was called. Want to Know What Love Is, which was appalling. I hated that song. And there were a few clunkers on here. The ballads, as I said, complete clunkers. But you've got some really good hard rocking tracks. Things like Nightlife, Jukebox Hero, Luan, Urgent. There's some really good stuff on here. Definitely gonna... And it's in really nice condition. Again with the inner sleeve. Ooh, get that back in. There we go. Right. Do this one next. Right. I seem to be getting Pat Benatar albums, or picking them up, starting to pick them up more. Maybe it's just coincidence, I don't know. But this one is Pat Benatar's 3rd album? I think it might be 3rd. Now, the other day I showed one of her other ones, which was Get Nervous, which I really, really enjoyed. I think that was a great album. This was the album before Crimes of Passion. It's not as good. I wouldn't say this is as good, despite it having Hit Me With Your Best Shot on it, which is probably her best known track. Possibly, arguably. Love Is a Battlefield is another one. We Belong is another one. And she does an absolutely useless cover of Wuthering Heights on here. Now, it's not just me being a massive Kate Bush fan, but it's useless. She hasn't got the vocal range of Kate. The backing it's more slowed down than the Kate Bush version, which just... So, apart from that though, it's a good album. What we got on it? So obviously Hit Me With Your Best Shot is classic. It's a classic early 80s rock track. Little Paradise, Treat Me Right, You Better Run. Yeah, there's some good songs on here. Good songs. Pat Benatar, Cries of Passion. Right. Okay. This is great. This is really good. This is the Most collection on MFP, Music for Pleasure, which was a budget label that EMI put out. This is a collection of artists, collection of, I presume, singles. Yeah, maybe A's and B's, I'm not sure. I think some of them are B-sides, some of them are A-sides. Most of them are A-sides, I think. Produced by Mickey Most, who was a producer in the UK, sort of from mid-60s through to, I guess, the early 80s. I think he was still around, still working. I think he was still working in the 80s. Best known, really, for being on 70s talent shows in the UK. He was kind of the Simon Cowell of the 70s. And he produced all kinds of stuff. You know, from out-and-out pop to fairly rocking stuff. So on here we've got 2 tracks each by, I mean, look at this. It got Rod Stewart. Well, actually, these tracks are on a Jeff Beck group album. I think Beckola, or Beckola. I'm not sure how to do. CCS. You've got Jeff Beck himself. The Yardbirds with a couple of tracks. The Animals with 2 of the greatest singles ever released. And Terry Reid, who I think... Now, Terry Reid. Oh, dear. Why do I remember the name Terry Reid? Terry Reid. Is it something to do with Zeppelin? Is he the guy that was meant to be Zeppelin singer? Am I getting completely wrong? Am I barking up the wrong tree? Somebody tell me. Somebody leave me a comment. Okay? Because I can't. My brain's just mush. Anyway. But you've got some brilliant tracks like Rod doing Jailhouse Rock and All Shook Up. They're great versions. More evidence that Rod was once worth listening to. You've got Yardbirds doing Little Games and what's their other track? 10 Little Indians. Great kind of psyche pop. Terry Reid doing Friends and Super Lungs. They're both good tracks. The Animals doing We've Got to Get Out of This Place and The House of the Rising Sun. Two of the best songs ever. Just two of the best singles ever. Absolutely amazing stuff. Then you got Jeff Beck doing Beck's Bolero and Hi Ho Silver Lining, which is a great song. And then you've got A Whole Lot of Love by CCS, who, what was their full name? Collective Consciousness Sound or something, I can't remember anyway. And Tap Turns on the Water, but their version of Whole Lot of Love is the Top of the Pops theme tune from the 1970s. Top of the Pops was a chart show that was on BBC for like donkey's years. I finally have a copy of the classic 70s Top of the Pops theme. Oh yes, top-notch compilation for £1. I mean, just marvellous, brilliant. I played that quite a few times already, and I played this a lot as well. This is brilliant. I absolutely love this. This is Davy Dozy, Beaky, Mick and Titch. Most unwieldy band name in history. And this is their greatest hits. And they had a surprising amount of hits, I must admit. They had one #1 in the UK, which is The Legend of Xanadu. They had a song called Hold Tight, which is used by Tarantino in... Which film was it? Was it Django? Not sure. But one Tarantino used... Or was it in... Oh, what's that? Oh, Death Proof. Oh, it might be in Death Proof. Right, okay, might be in that. But really good. I was really surprised. I thought, right, I'll get it for Hold Tight, get it for Legend of Xanadu with its silly whip cracking sounds. But surprisingly good. Hideaway, Bend It, Save Me, Touch Me, okay. Great stuff. Davy Dozy, Beaky, Mick and Titch. Greatest hits. Right, there we go. So my latest vinyl watch. Nearly 25 minutes. I've just got a little bit more I'm going to add. So you can turn off now if you got bored. I just wanted to say thank you to the VC for being such a great place. A place where you can just show records, argue the toss, have crazy theories about records and how they link, and meet and talk to the greatest people, just the greatest people, and listen to, just get more inspiration for buying more records. Long live the VC is what I say, and it's been an absolute joy and a pleasure to have been part of it for a year, and here's to many more years that I hope I can be part of it. So thanks very much, VC. 1 year today. See you later. Bye.